Hey, welcome back.
Welcome, guys. We're so excited to have you guys back here talking all things The Amazing Race. For those that have tuned in already this week, you got us. We were in that live Q&A. That was a new experience for us with the whole live streaming thing, but a lot of fun interacting with so many of you, so many questions that you guys had, things we were able to answer. We went a lot longer than we were originally planning.
Yes.
Which
is great. Like bring more questions, more people, and
more people participating.
We'll keep answering the questions.
We'll talk for hours. Lori and I we love to talk. And then the recap where Lori and I had a chance to go through all the stuff that we did on that episode, some that aired, some that didn't. It was super fun for you guys following along with us as we were talking about those things. Super fun. But I can't tell you how excited I am about this.
I am so excited. I love that we do this twist where we're not just talking about Scott's and my adventure on The Amazing Race. We bring in past racers. We bring in fans. We bring in people from Discord. We bring in a community to talk about all the little nit and gritty stuff. I can't wait.
Yeah. And I just feel like when it comes to the TAR community, it's out there if you're looking for it. Like if you think you're celebrating The Amazing Race all by yourselves, you're wrong. There's other fans out there. There's people you can connect with. There's so much stuff that's going on. And I love how many former racers are still active in the community. They're doing podcasts or they're, out participating with the fans in public, greeting them, participating in races around LA. Like so many cool things that are happening around this thing with The Amazing Race. So super fun. I'm excited to bring in our first guest for this one. If you watched us last week when we did this panel thing and kind of previewed the whole thing, we had Danny on, we had Jeff and Pops here with us, our good friends who are currently on the current season, and we had Dom, one of our fans. We got different people. We're not bringing back the same faces every week if we can have it. We want new ideas, new thoughts. We don't all have to agree, but we're just all here because we love The Amazing Race. So I'm going to start off just by showing a little video about these next people, and then I'll tell you.
I think it was back there.
Yeah, we have to go forward and turn around.
Oh, crap. All right, so this is going to be fun. I have no idea how to reverse this. Is that it? No. That's first. All right, baby, you got to get out and push. Push it, man! Good. We're good. Yeah, baby!
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
If you know them,
muscle,
you
baby.
love them.
Oh, the muscle, baby. I just want to tell everybody, because people were kind of making fun of me when that happened. Look, they were like, oh, you can't drive stick. You can't drive stick. I know how to drive stick. I just can't put it in reverse. Yeah. Two different things. I was driving stick fine while other teams were stalling. But guys, thanks for inviting us on. We're so excited.
I love
you guys. Lewis and Michelle, for those who don't know, season 34, firefighter, super amazing talent when it comes to like knocking out those emergencies that we need people for. But then definitely the beauty of the team, right?
Hey!
Michelle, backup dancer to Pitbull. Like we went and saw him in concert just a few months ago.
Those girls are not only gorgeous, but they're dancing. They're not just doing a 5, 6, 7.
No.
They are hardcore. I was like so impressed.
And in heels.
That's
Yes.
Mr. Worldwide.
So welcome. Well, the part about that clip, like you could have been like, shiz, man, hurry up. But you were just like laughing and you're like, thanks, babe, for helping me. Like, you just enjoyed the moment. But yes, it is a classic Amazing Race. Like, here we go.
I knew I was going to get so much crap for that.
So much crap.
And I did. And it's all good. And that's
well
all
deserved.
I was just like, this is going to happen.
Yeah,
but what was it about that season,
work
though?
out legs too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got legs, that's for certain. But that season, there was more driving than any other season, right? Like, what was it?
Oh yeah. We had I forget if it was 8 or 10 self-driving legs.
Almost every single episode.
If you count the mega leg as 2 legs, then we had 10 self-driving legs. And if you put together the self-driving legs that an all-star team does 3 seasons, for like Leo and Jamal, they still didn't do 10 self-driving legs. So what we got in one season was a lot of stress with self-drive, but at least we don't have to depend on a taxi to get us from point A to point B. We can depend on ourselves. So,
and I think that's an element a lot of people need to recognize is there's 2 sides to every coin, right? You can be stressed and pissed and angry, or you can accept the fact that, well, at least we don't have to deal with that obstacle, right? I mean, there's a positive spin to that if you choose to kind of look for it or embrace it. So love that about you guys.
The only time we didn't, well, one of the only times we didn't drive was in Jordan because it was supposed to be like dangerous. We were going through the desert and just the area wasn't like safe to drive. We hopped into a car and our car started going faster than all the cars. All of a sudden, we started passing people who were in front of us, like way in front of us.
Yeah.
Wow. And the camera people started telling us, like, don't tell him to go fast. And we're like, we're not. We're just here. Because we were laughing at the other cars and we're like, ha, we're passing you.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me bring in our other guest and then we'll talk about a bunch more. I'm so excited for the next 40 minutes or longer where we can just talk about this amazing first premiere episode. But this next guy reached out to us as a fan of the show. He's watched some of our other content, was super excited to be a part of this. And lo and behold, is a Florida man himself, and not in a Florida man in a bad way. Like you hear all those things about Florida man wrestling with alligator. Like I'm not saying that kind of thing, but our next guest, Ethan, joins us. Super excited to have him on the show.
I'm excited.
Ethan, what do you love about this show? This thing called The Amazing Race.
Oh man, what is there not to love? I guess. I mean, I guess what I love most is because I've traveled a lot, been blessed to travel a lot, seen so many places in the world, lived a bunch of places around the world. And I guess it just gives you that feeling of wanderlust, that feeling, the logistics that go into travel, which I actually find a lot of fun. I'm always, for our family, when we've ever gone on family vacations, I'm always viewed as the travel agent because I love just putting everything together. Went to Australia last year and it was like a whole 6 weeks of just booking everything and flights and hotels. And so I guess I find that exciting. And so to be able to watch other people traveling around the world and going to all these, exotic places and, sort of the dynamic of, figuring out their relationships and figuring out the when they relate with other teams and working together and just overcoming that. And then win $1 million at the end. It's not a bad thing.
Hey, that's not a bad ending.
Not a bad prize to take home, right?
Not too bad.
Well, and travel can be stressful. I mean, I think anybody who's traveled, they know like travel can be stressful. There's times when we're somewhere, and I love this, like Lori will be like, how come you didn't know that this place didn't have this path that we could go around here? And I'm like, I did as much research as I possibly could into our
not
plan.
enough.
That was not in the paperwork I could find. Like, I'm sorry. I haven't been here yet. This is our first time.
Yeah, but
Ethan, have you ever auditioned for The Amazing Race, or do you ever want to?
Well, I have the wrong passport.
Yes.
I'm Canadian and Australian, but lived in Florida.
Which is super cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yep, it is.
And there is TAR Canada, and there is TAR Australia. There's other formats,
That's true.
But it's not TAR US. TAR US is just.
It's not the same. There's no fill. There's no fill.
Ethan, one or the other. Yeah. Are you Australian or Canadian? Pick one.
Which is it? Which you got to choose. Lewis has a gun to your head, and he's asking you if you had to choose Canadian or Australia. What are you choosing?
Australia.
Hey!
Oh, now he's getting hate from all the Canadians that follow us.
What have we started?
Well, I mean, I like having two passports. It's fun. I like being Canadian, but Australia's just, there's so much diversity in the culture, the landscape, the people. It's so much fun. Gotta hold on a second. I can't see Lewis and Michelle at all.
Okay. They're there, so you're good.
Okay, I can't.
I'm gonna run this intro real quick, and then because we're talking about season 37, The Amazing Race, oldest cast ever by a lot. I mean, average age on this cast 40.1 years old. Next oldest was Amazing Race 14, which was like 11 years ago, guys. They were 37.1, and Amazing Race 21. They were about 7 years ago. They were 37 years old. 37. So kind of cool. But let's look at these guys real quick in their intros and see. And by the way, this is alphabetical order. Not really anything special as far as who's first, who's last. But here they are.
Goosebumps every time.
Love it. It's so unique to see that now, because when we're filming that, like, you don't know these people at all, and now you can kind of see their personalities. You're like, oh, of course they did this, or
this
they did
is our
this.
family.
Or, like, I love that.
So did you guys decide your pose together?
Yes. So we were kind of sneaky and tricky with our posts. So in our family, the number 37 is very unique and special to us. So being on Amazing Race 37 was like mind blowing. But in sign language, it's 7, but it's also 3 of your fingers up. So and so many pictures of my kids, they're doing this or videos. So it looks like a gang sign. It's not. It's just like a family thing of 37. So we thought we'd be super tricky and like fake out the Amazing Race producers. And we both know sign language. Our whole family knows sign language. So I did this and my husband did the 37. So when we have our hands up to do our hips, we're doing those signs. And then we do this, but it totally got edited out. So like, we just, I guess,
and I think it's because they thought I was throwing gang signs, and they're like, "We got to cut that off."
Like, what are they doing? I don't know, but I'm like, it was just a little. We were just kind of being sneaky to show our kids, hey, like we wanted you to see us. But so it was supposed to be hands up, hitting the hips, and then a cute little post.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's fine.
It's fine. Green screens. That is fine.
Yep.
I know.
So before we go too far, though, I do want to plug something super cool and amazing. There's this little thing called the Croqueta chat. Have you heard of it? Look at those beautiful people. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you guys had the chance to go live a few days ago and talk about this cast. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we our Michelle's brother came up to us while our season was going on, and he's like, guys, I want to do a recap with you guys, and I want to call it Inside the Mind, and you want to be all serious. I want to behind the scenes Amazing Racer. I'm like, nah, let's call it Croqueta chat, have some fun. So we started it back then, and yeah, we're still going strong. Our last episode was something we do is called One and Only One, and we invite a bunch of guests. We had a record of 23 Amazing Racers on one podcast.
Wow.
We beat James. Gotcha, James.
Yeah. right now.
So we had the most amount of racers on one podcast, and everybody just came on really quick and just talked about one team. And basically, yeah, when we have a lot of fun, we're not nearly as organized as you, Scott. Like, if you guys could see, Scott has like Excel spreadsheets of what we're gonna do, what we're gonna say. I'm just like, oh my god, and he has a pre-show meeting and all this.
A lot.
Whoa.
And he does it all. I just sit down 5 minutes before we were going to film, and I'm like, I'm good. Let's go. Like, he's the one that does all the work.
Scott, make sure my headphones work. I'm sporting
I
Spider-Man
try
today
and get
because my
something
headphones.
out of him, but I could never get anything out of him. But what I really do love is the TAR community, because they showed up for us. And we named it Croqueta Chat, it's not easily found by a regular person just looking for Amazing Race. And all the TAR fans end up finding us, and I'm sure they'll find you guys, and everybody will support. And you guys should actually go live so you could have some fun with the fans.
Wait,
as well.
they did it live last week.
We did do live just a little earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if we pulled it off. We'll see. The verdict's still out. Like, we had technical difficulties.
It was different and fun. So
yeah,
it'll grow. It'll grow.
Yeah.
So and let's. Who did you guys choose? Who was your one and onlys? I'm curious.
So my one and only one was Mark and Larry. I did some research. Now remember, it's not just like, it's not my winner pick. It's just talking about it. Like, who do you want to talk about? And I gotta talk about them because they were firefighters, you know.
Yeah.
So I did a deep dive in their potential. I'm not sure what fire department they work for, but I tried to do some research. Maybe they work for this fire department. This one's busier than that one. Maybe they're getting some more experience. Oh, but I think it's Larry that didn't travel outside the U.S. So I ranked them, unfortunately, number 10. Yeah. You know, they technically finished, 8th this episode.
Right.
Still got eliminated, right? That's crazy.
Which is spoilers.
That was my one and only one, to make it short.
Yeah.
And who'd you have, Michelle?
Sorry, I'm still learning names. Mine was Brett and Mark.
Oh.
And I chose them because
dancers.
We got dancers in there, and I just had to. And I feel like from the previews that I saw, the way their athleticism was very high. And I'm also loving Carson and Jack. Like, there's something about them that I feel like they're gonna do so well. Like, their energy is gonna do so well. But I had to pick a dancer. I had to.
Yes, of course.
And they're fierce. They're
either married couples or like dancers, and they're both.
And they're both. Check it off. I love Larry and Mark. Like, so, when we meet everybody, you can't talk to everyone. You're kind of sussing them out. Well, they both have on these wedding rings that are black silicone with like a little red line. So we're like, oh, they're a cute married couple. Like, because we're not sure. We don't know. So then after we meet them, we were like, so are you guys married? And they were like, absolutely not. This is my best friend. How dare you? And I'm like, your rings match each other. And they're like,
but it's that red line for firefighters.
We're firefighters. I was like, oh, okay. But they never touched each other. They never like snuggled. So I was like, are they married? Are they not married? Like, I'm like, I didn't know. They're so funny. They are so funny. I love them. Great couple.
But Mark and Brett are married. Super cute couple.
They are.
So fun. If you had to choose a one and only Ethan, who would you have chosen? No pressure.
One and only? Boy, I think Nick and Mike. Nick and Mike.
They're pretty awesome.
Boys. I think
the brothers.
Yeah. And
I got off they can refuse.
I got a good relationship with my brother as well, and so they remind me of that dynamic.
I love it.
It's really motivating. And Phil, did you see the interview with Phil? He said that they're favorite teams ever. So that's saying something.
Well, and I feel like when you try out for something 7 times and finally get on your 7th time, like lucky number 7, I mean, these guys showed the fortitude of like not giving up. Like, no,
absolutely.
You can keep saying no to us, but we're going to keep doing it. Like, we're gonna, like, until you finally just put us on the show because you're sick of us. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, and I did hear that they kept emailing Elise. So they would like do an audition tape, but they kept emailing her. Did you see the tape? We want to interview. And so she was like, who are these people? And like, let's talk to these guys. So she finally is the one that like made it happen, which I think is hilarious. I'm like, that gives you some cojones to go and like the top person of second person of the Amazing Race, like email her directly.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you guys.
Go for it. Yes.
So I can't hear or see Lewis and Michelle at all, so it's just black screen for me. So I'm just gonna.
Oh shoot. Well, maybe Ethan, jump out of the studio real quick and come back in while they're asking. See if that fixes it.
So when you guys were lined up and you saw everybody for the first time, who were you afraid of? Like, this is my competition. They're a threat. Like, just by looks. Nothing else.
Well, I feel like the first time when we're all in California sitting in the conference room, we're kind of sussing people out. And 2 groups stuck out to me. I think both of us have the same groups. It's the cute little nerds who ended up being Carson and Jack. I'm like, they might not be strong and quick, but they're going to be like the super brainiacs. So we really like them. And then the other team, of course, is Jeff and Pops. We had a lot of interactions with them before the race. So I wasn't really scared of them. I know that they could totally kick our trash because they're so much stronger than us. But I love them. I know their heart. So I love them. So I was never really scared, but I know they could murder us like at any moment.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so funny is like your initial reactions on people is one way. And then as you learn things about those teams, you're like, oh, I totally had it wrong. I had you guys pegged this way. It's literally this way, you know, and I think that's some of the fun of why they obsess so much about keeping you sequestered is they want to see that evolution of those relationships, not only between you as teammates, but also between other teams. So they get to capture it, you know, on camera, which is just like so fun. So, all right, we're going to continue a little bit. I want to get to the episode. Like, I want to talk about the double the stakes, double the elimination. Like, that's what they called this premiere episode. Season 37, they had a record number of teams, right? Lewis and Michelle had a record number of people podcasts on their show, Racers, right? Like, Amazing Race wasn't going to be outdone. So they're like, you know what? We're going to have a record number of teams. We're going to have 14 teams compete, but we're also going to do what? We're going to eliminate 2 teams at the same leg, right? So double the stakes. Now you got double elimination. So just insane. What are your thoughts? Like when you first saw that episode air or the title, like what were you thinking?
Oh man, I didn't even look at the title before the episode, to be honest. But obviously we had an idea what was going on. I think, we knew 2 teams were going to be eliminated. And I think the crowd was just wondering, how was this fork in the road going to work? You know, I was thinking that the fork was going to be right there right away. And you guys were potentially going to different countries maybe and doing 2 different complete legs. Right. And finishing in different countries, which, you know, obviously logistically, Phil can't be in 2 places at once. You're
right.
Backup host, so that wasn't going to happen. Now thinking about it, so I guess it was just wondering how it was going to work. Ethan's back, baby.
I bet it's working. I can see you guys now.
I mean, that idea, what you said, is kind of cool, to do a complete full race like throughout the whole entire day. Could be the same country, and then
maybe you can have like an AI robotic Phil.
right.
No, but it ends up in the same place.
Yeah, I think they did that one season where they started at 2 different start cities, right? And then they ended up converging at some point during that first leg, and I think like kind of rejoined or whatever. But yeah, crazy. Double the stakes, double eliminations. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna let Phil kick us off with this start line. Oh my gosh, chills! Like what the heck?
That's
so. When Phil says go for the like.
Oh my god!
With the eyebrow, right?
Yeah. And you guys, I'm sure you did this. You had a couple of like fake goes, right? Like a couple of test runs. And when they say, "All right, guys, this is for real. This is it. We're starting."
They pull the camera crews out of the way. Like now it's real. Now it's go time.
Oh man!
I wish I could explain that feeling. That feeling is just it's you can't. It's an incredible thing that you wish you could relive over and over.
Just pure adrenaline.
And it's not that we like flew there and like later that day we're all on the start line. We were there in our hotel rooms for almost 6 days, like sequestered in our rooms doing absolutely nothing. And then they're like, okay, today's the day. And we're like, oh my gosh, finally. And then it still is just drags out. Like we were there for hours on that rooftop, hours. And then finally when he's like, it's real, we're like,
go time.
Is it real? Is it really real? Like, oh my
gosh. So we self-drove ourselves from that spot in LA to the LAX airport. Had to drop our car off at that self-park, spot. Make our way to LAX. We got there. This is a clip. I'm going to just include it again because I just think it's so cute of Lori. I won't show the whole thing. People can watch it.
Amazing.
I'm going to cut it off there. We won't play the whole thing, but
does anyone need to go potty? Always before you leave the house at any time, before you get on an airplane, before you leave the potty, does anyone need to go potty?
He's always asking the boys because it's like we get in the car and we're not 5 minutes down the road and somebody's like, I need to go to the bathroom. We're like, we were just there.
and now going back to you, Scott, like I tweeted this when I saw those pictures of you and your family and you know, obviously those are older pictures, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah,
you were heavier, man.
We were fat. Just say it. We were fat.
You can just say the word. We were fat.
You were heavier.
We were F-A-T fat.
But dude, and I tweeted out, man, like Scott, you got to give people your workout plan, your diet plan, because you look great.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Scott.
Thank you.
So
I lost.
When you joined our chat while we were on the podcast,
the icon
picture. At first, I was like, "Wait, is that Scott from Amazing Race, or
is that a fake?"
So you guys encouraged me to update my profile picture on YouTube now. So it's not Fat Scott anymore; it's Skinnier Scott. It's actually Scott and Lori now in our picture. But Lori lost 80 pounds. I lost 100 pounds, and it wasn't because we were specifically losing it for the race.
Yeah,
we lost it like a year prior to us even trying out for the race, but it sure made the race easier.
Oh my gosh.
Not lugging around all that extra weight.
For sure.
Because like kids watch back some of the old vlogs from episodes we shared years ago, or they look at those pictures, they're like, who are those parents? Like, I don't remember them. Like, it's weird.
But, good for you guys. That's great.
Well, I'm sure you guys can attest to this now that they don't show how much we run, obviously, because that's going to be boring. But we run miles and miles. So what you see in 2 seconds is a long time. So you gotta get that stamina up.
Yeah.
Well, and also to be fair, like racers run, like most of the other racers are running. Lori and I were not running during this amazing race.
We slogged. We slow jogged. We were slogging the whole time, and we were fine with that because we know that the train would make a difference. The taxi would make a difference. Like we knew that. It outrun us from the airport, you know, we're like, that's okay.
Well, who was it this episode that said the tortoise and the hare? I think it was Jackie and Lauren when they're on the ferry.
Right.
Just, you know,
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, one of the producers said it. They said that you could win Amazing Race like walking if you go to the challenges.
If you're smart.
If you do it smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because there's so many times you get to clue, you rip, read, and run. You're like, where are we going? I have no idea. We have to run.
Well, and I think that's the part that a lot of people don't realize is like when you're in racer mode, that takes over everything. All of your decision making is all geared there, and like eating, drinking, going to the bathroom, like all those things become secondary. Like you forget to stay hydrated. Like you forget to eat when you probably should because you're racing for hours and hours and hours, and all of a sudden you're like, why am I about to pass out? Oh, it's because I haven't had anything to eat, or whatever. It's crazy.
That's the bathroom. You gotta admit that.
You gotta go to the bathroom. You don't want to wet your pants.
I know. I would hold it in, but you feel that. You're like, oh gosh.
Well, and every time Scott did a challenge, I'm like, where's the restroom? And they were like, you don't want to watch? I'm like, I have, this is my only break. Like I have to right now. Well, they were always like, really, Lori? I'm like, yes.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Do the teammates, don't they have to stay within a certain vicinity of each other at all times?
Yeah, unless like there's circumstances like don't allow it. Like so that was one of those situations. Like I'm clearly busy, like doing a challenge. So production accompanies her like to go to the bathroom or whatever. So I'm gonna show this next clip. This happened in the LAX airport, but I think it captures an important dynamic because setting up this part of the leg, there was 4 teams getting on that first flight and then 10 teams on that second flight. And that was the whole reason why all of us were scrambling to get to LAX as quick as we could. We wanted to try to get on that first flight because 1 hour can be a huge difference on a leg of the amazing race.
Right.
So, but yeah, let's watch this real quick. And you can hear the other team mentioning the 30 minutes. So we arrived 11 minutes early. They were 18 minutes late. So they're already aware of the fact that like we're on their heels.
Yeah.
And they're at the ferry. Yeah, go.
So did you guys have marked taxis for this leg?
We had specific brand taxi. So if you notice, to get the Buddha, we had to go in those Bluebird taxis. To get to the next thing, we had to be in a red taxi. So we did change the brand of which taxi we had to take from what place to another place. Only on this leg that we had that very specific taxi name, but they weren't ever. They weren't marked to the point where we like knew those were our taxis. There were in a certain area that we kind of knew like that's where you go to catch a taxi, and I'm sure they had enough queued up for us so we could go, quick. But that was the last time that ever happened. From then on, it was like find a taxi somewhere, guys. Yeah,
back to the old ways. I like it. Love it.
Yep.
And what was fun, so if you notice in that clip, we arrived in 8th. So we went from 13th to 8th, getting up there to the Buddha. Iconic shot. I mean, looking at that massive Buddha, beautiful. And I love how they set us up on the stairs. So you got that in the backdrop when you're doing the rip and read and finding out, kind of where to go and do next. So
how were the steps going up? Were they very long or were they short?
It was long.
It was long. So yeah, it was a lot of steps. We skipped a step and we were holding hands, like skipped a step. So we were pretty steady. We went pretty fast. We thought we went, but they didn't air any of that. You never know what they're going to air or not, so.
They hold hands when they go up.
We hold hands a lot.
Not to pull me. It was more so for
like pulling you up.
Drag you out.
Right, exactly. Here's how we're going to get there together.
We'll be right here. We're in eyesight. We're good. No.
I actually, in one of our episodes, going down the steps, I went all the way down.
Oh my gosh.
Well, when you're trying to go fast, you're just doing like what you can, and then sometimes those steps can be tricky to navigate.
It's always awkward when you have that huge pack on and you're like, yes.
So we get back in. Luckily, it's back in the same taxi we were in to head back down towards the ferry area. I'm going to play this clip of Phil where he's setting up this next. Crazy. Did you guys have equalizer moments on your season?
No.
I don't think so.
I think we were one of the first and only seasons that it was just straight start and go due to the COVID rules, and we didn't have public transportation or I should say airport travel. We had the private charter.
Right.
It was just it was really a race from start to finish every leg. And I like I told you before, like I prefer it that way because I'm in control. I'm self-driving. There's no equalizers. If we perform good, we
that's on you. That's on you. Yeah.
And Lewis and Michelle, you were sort of released in groups on your season as well, isn't that correct? So that was almost like a
tiers.
Equalizer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 15-minute difference, but kind of like what you were saying, an hour wasn't a big deal for us. A minute was a big deal.
Yeah, because it happened to us because we were like 1 minute behind another team, and that cost us 15 minutes the next day.
The next
Gotcha.
time.
Oh,
Oh, that's brutal. That's
Yeah,
brutal.
so
That's like the 1 minute of missing a train, or the 1 minute of missing a ferry, though. In some ways, you know.
But
So
then
the
I
elements are
love
still kind of there.
Concept of I get Jonathan and Anna that they're so
Yes.
frustrated, but at the same time, I like that people get back together because it's for a viewer, you see it, and then people are back and you see the competition happen again. When someone's winning by so much, it's not interesting for us. I mean, as a racer, it sucks, but
Right.
I like the unpredictability of it.
For sure. For
yes.
sure. All right, here's the next element. Phil's going to introduce us. Oh my gosh, craziness. So I have to ask, you get there to the mat, which one are you guys choosing if you're first?
If we're first,
Yeah.
oh, dancing all day.
No, there was no question in our season. It could have been anything. Just eat a cookie. No, we're gonna dance.
We're gonna dance.
We had to dance. That's what I told Lewis.
Yeah.
And he's
No,
just
but what if you were in our position where 6 of the 7 dancing and only 5 of the singing? Because we would prefer to do dancing as well. Would you still been like, we're doing this?
Yeah,
because
I think
the Las Vegas professional dancers, it took them 3 times to pass it.
Yeah, we would have gotten our first try.
I love it. I love it. I love the motive.
If you guys would have seen our Jordanian dance,
Like
how difficult that was for.
I bet.
Yeah. Anyway, I could go deep into that. But going back to your question, Lori, if there's 6 teams there already on the dancing side, I would want to ask how far ahead was that 6th team? Did we see them? Like, are they close by?
That makes a difference.
Because I know we could beat that 6th team.
Right.
If if we don't see that 6th team at all, I think we got to go to singing. We got to try to get aside because we're too far behind.
And I'm not gonna lie, for me, the fork, I was very confused about it. And as I was watching it, I was like, okay, isn't this kind of like a detour? Then I keep watching it and I'm just like, what's the big deal about it? Until Larry got eliminated. As they were going to the mat, I looked at Lewis and I was like, wait, they're getting eliminated? And he's like, yes, the bottom person. I was like, oh. That's when I was like, okay, I like this. This is
and it was a foot race between 3 teams, and they're in 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Like Larry and Mark finished in 8th place out of 14 teams and went home.
That's wild.
Crazy.
I know.
Well, Lewis has been debating about this online about it, if it's fair or not. I mean, it's the race.
It's the race. It's reality TV.
So I know for us going into it, we were very strategic about we would rather be the 6th, knowing someone's behind us, not knowing how far ahead those other groups were, because I don't know how easy or hard the task is, and I don't want to expect to go in already being in last place. So for us, strategically, we would have chosen dance for sure, but we went sing because of the other reason. You know?
Right. One thing, I thought there was going to be another task afterwards. I thought maybe like another roadblock,
another route info.
Yeah, exactly. Would have made things even just a little more interesting with the 2 converging. I mean, maybe it's another next season, maybe. But
fortunately for us, we got there 6th.
Yeah,
but we arrived at our detour location in 3rd.
Nice.
So we climbed back up a little bit more, you know.
Never count yourself out till Phil tells you.
So we left the fork in the road. We noticed a bunch of teams down one direction struggling to get cabs. And I told Laura, I'm like, nope, we're going back to that main road and we're catching a taxi down there. Like, we're going to have better chances of catching a taxi there. And I think that proved to be a big help.
I mean, I know you guys can't say, but like, I guess this is my prediction. What I was talking with Lewis. Phil didn't say like you're first but you're 13th out of all of them.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is happening next is first is headed out first.
You're talking about the next leg.
Yeah, for the next leg.
How they're leaving the next leg. Yeah, we're predicting
that's gonna happen, which is chaotic too, because singing was taking a lot more longer than dancing was.
And I will say that they've not said or confirmed anywhere that the fork in the road has ended. They said it stopped at the pit stop mats. So for what it's worth, there could be an element where teams start split still on a continued parallel journey. I mean, who knows, right?
Who knows?
Well,
we know.
We know.
Who you know?
Who would know? All right, let's look at these two things side by side real quick. We'll look at the singing first, and then we'll look at the dancing.
The pit stop.
Love it.
My gosh. It is so unfair to watch this. Like, they had to put pants and a tie around their waist and do a dance. And 15-20 minutes of putting makeup on. By the way, they don't even show that. We're just sitting in the chair. Makeup, dancing,
full glam,
singing. I'm like, you have
costume.
got to be kidding me.
Like layers and layers of costuming.
Like, there's all these different layers in this. Oh my
God.
It
was not just singing.
No, I don't know.
I got a question. So
yes.
When you guys got to the fork in the road, was there still a clue box with that you grab, or did a producer give you a specific envelope for your fork?
There was a clue. So we opened it up to take our pictures out, and there was magnets that we could either do the dancing or the singing.
And then you take the clue out, and essentially what fork in the road is it's a forced detour. So whereas last season you noticed they could switch back, or every other season you can switch between detours, you could not switch. You were on that fork, regardless of how easy or hard the task was.
And the only clue you had was dance or sing. That's the only thing you had, right? And
it did say some information about, like, you'll perform a lion dance, or it said you'll participate in a Cantonese opera.
Where did it say?
You did have that much information, but that was it.
Where was that?
It was on the clue that you read. And then once you tour it, there was extra information of it. Just like when you choose a detour, and then they give you more information once you've chosen your route.
Okay.
Right?
So there was extra information before you picked.
Did you guys have the words somewhere, like in front of you?
Yeah, it was to the side. Yeah,
it was like karaoke. The words are up there. You just may not do a very good job of.
But Lewis, no, we could only see the board that said dance or sing.
Okay,
that's right.
We had to choose, and then we got the clue.
That's true. Oh no, that's true.
So we did. It did not have the additional information. For the only information was dance or sing, and what spots were left. That's the only information we had until we chose. And then we got the additional information about what we chose. That was it.
What would have been very interesting if there was no English at all on the sign. You had to pick a blind.
I know, right?
Ethan, you trying to kill us, bro?
I know.
I'm going to make this race extreme.
This is what happens when you open up the door and give fans a little bit of wiggle room. They come in and trying to just destroy us.
You're not struggling enough.
Lead on a haystack. Learn Cantonese.
Why not?
Chinese,
Let's
dude.
do it.
And
you gotta do it all. You gotta do it all
feet
with
in the air.
Why not? Why not?
My gosh. That's
right,
hilarious.
let's look at the far easier side of the fork in the road.
Okay. Michelle, I'm not a dancer, but for heaven's sake, it was literally bow with your foot back, bow with your other foot back, go in a circle. I mean, come on.
He just said that.
And with our sleeves. Oh, are you kidding me? Come on. The dancing would be better in the singing part. Are you kidding me right now? Come on.
It looks so easy. If you guys saw us backstage, we're like, it's like this, like that. You cross over. That's it. And you do a circle.
That's it. I honestly believe you guys would have nailed it on your first try. I actually think.
Let me go the other version of this.
Okay.
Maybe the head was heavy. Maybe the back is like
no, it wasn't.
It might have been.
Michelle, no, it wasn't. No, we saw Jack and Carson do it. They are skinny little nerds who we love, but they did it effortlessly. So no, I don't believe it was heavy.
Okay.
I just was like, are you kidding me? Like, you would have enjoyed the dancing part of the singing more than the dancing part of the dance, because it was actually dancing.
We were actually dancing too. You guys learned movement with it, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Feet movement, hand move. Our sleeves had to come out, folded in, head bowed up. It was very intricate.
Well,
I'm not upset about it at all, if you can tell.
She's totally happy with the outcome of how this.
So over it.
In fact, let's watch. I'm sorry. I no shade against the other teams that struggled here. I know I know Nick and Mike had a hard time and like had a little bit of a minor
Nick was in his head.
meltdown,
He was,
you know?
Right.
But like, yeah, that was not hard. All right.
And it's I love this because at least people can't complain now that, oh, look, the detours, they're unbalanced. That's so unfair. Right. They got eliminated. No, it's pretty much one group against the other. And if you finish the exact same task
you're right.
as that group, and you're last in that group, you're eliminated, which is
right.
You know, I think it's kind of more fair instead of being lucky and picking the right detour and having to make up for 20 minutes.
I think you absolutely nailed it, Luis, because for me, the frustration I've always had is when there's been a limitation to the number of stations at a certain area, and like you can't do what it is that you wanted to do, and then you feel like you're losing time. And like, for example, Jeff and Pops on that climbing thing had to wait because there were only 8 slots to climb the bamboo tower. They were ready to beast out, but couldn't because they weren't one of the first 8 teams to try. And I think that's frustrating sometimes when you know your capabilities and then you're like, well, I'm stuck here doing nothing. Do I go do the other detour where there's an available station, but it might be harder? And then you feel like you're victims of the race versus victims of your own ability. So I think that's
that's an interesting point. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're finishing up. I'm trying to be conscientious of the time. I don't want to keep you guys too long.
But I'll leave Luis for you guys.
Okay. Michelle, thank you so much.
It's been fun.
We're going to be wrapping up shortly. It's not much longer. So
no worries.
One more scene from Phil where he gets to kind of finish off the Hong Kong theatrics. Crazy.
First time having 2 pit stop mats. That's pretty
pit stop mats, different sets of greeters. And of course, me being the OCD guy that I am because of all like my journaling and stuff, like I was writing down what the other pit stop greeters looked like because I didn't know if I was responsible for that information or not. So, all right, I'm going to throw this up real quick. This is a little bit of extra graphics that I was able to find from some fans of The Amazing Race. They shared it with us, but I thought it was really, I lost it. Hold on. There it is. I appreciate like the confessional count. That's when you get a significant amount of time, similar to what we see like in Survivor. You can sometimes get a feel for how edits are going based on how much time screen time people are getting. This was another one. The one on the right is how much episode screen time people got based in seconds. Now, Luis, you know this. Like when you're on the race, who's getting most of the screen time?
The first teams and the last teams. Those middle of the pack teams are the ones that always get no screen time. That was Michelle the first 3-4 episodes, unfortunately.
And so do we put a lot of credence or a lot of credibility into this as like this is the end all be all? No, this is one episode. No big deal. Like, don't freak out if your numbers are low here to my my fellow racer family. It's just interesting to kind of look at because I like watching these kinds of things over the evolution of a season to watch some of these people as they change from one thing to another. And that's what's fun about this next graphic. This is another thing that shows an EGIC for those who aren't familiar with EGICs. Under the radar, UTR, MORs, middle of the road. There's even an INV, which is like invisible, where you just like don't even seem to appear in the episode at all. There's OTT, which is over the top. And then there's also CP, which is more of a complex personality, people that are a little bit more calculated in how they're approaching things. The middle number can be positive, so like middle of the road positive for Mark and Larry, or over the top positive for Jackie and Lauren. It can be negative for whatever reason. This person felt like Nick and Mike had a little bit of a negative under the radar edit here because I think there's a little frustration with the dancing element. And then that last number is how much screen time you're kind of getting in that episode. You know, the higher the number being more like visibility and stuff.
Right.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to change. Like a person's EGIC doesn't seem to stay the same throughout the entire season. So I'm throwing it up there because I want to watch in this each week as it changes. But then also we had somebody that put together the average placement. And I love this because it's what you pointed out, or I guess what Michelle pointed out when she came to her realization. There's a glaring grayed out picture right there in the middle of poor Mark and Larry, like literally 8th out of 14 teams. And they went home this week, like devastating. Oh, crazy. All right, we're wrapping up. I'm going to do a couple more slides just to show some more people some things. This were the journals that I created while I was on the race. Again, I'm super OCD. Like there's a lot of detail that I get obsessed with because I never know what might be important or critical. And I felt the weight and responsibility. Like if I get to that final memory challenge, I need to be locked in, ready to carry my team to victory.
Because I'm there just for have fun and the experience. I'm like, wow, look at this.
You saw it in one of the episodes. Like we're literally skipping down the boardwalk, holding hands, and Lori's like, "Wow, this place is so amazing,
so pretty! Wow!" And Scott's like, "Oh, frantic!" She's like, "What'd you see? Where is it? What'd you see?"
It leads to this summary page I created that I studied for every single leg just to make sure I knew the information that seemed critical.
Wow.
I was watching other people's placements in there, trying to be aware of. And again, I have no confirmation that this literally was how they finished. I'll have to go back and compare my notes with that other graphic we just saw. But this is where I perceived people were at. And then I went so far, and this is where Lori realizes in 26 years of being married
that I've married a crazy person.
I literally took 12 different colors of pins on the race because I mapped out our performance ourselves during the leg of the race.
Wow.
But what I love about that is it shows you how dynamic this race is. Like just because you're in front doesn't mean you're going to stay in front. Like there's things that happen, stuff that's outside of your control sometimes. And it's what makes Amazing Race so fun. But also all of this extra legwork on my part led to this next project that I'm excited.
Wait, don't go yet. Okay, Lewis, what do you, I mean, is that crazy? Like, come on, tell me the truth when you see that.
Oh my God. I'm thinking serial killer. This is crazy. I was kidding.
Well, hey, that brings up a quick question, actually. Do you put on your shoes and socks?
Oh my gosh.
sock, shoe. Or do you put on your socks and shoes, sock, shoe?
Seriously, which way is it? Both of you.
Sock, shoe. Michelle does sock, shoe. She's
what? I'm not alone in this world.
No. Lewis, you are the
Yeah.
serial killer. Are you kidding me? Who in their right mind puts on a sock and a shoe and a sock and a shoe?
Yeah.
It goes sock, shoe.
Lori, careful. I know you've known him for your whole life, but I will be careful.
I know.
When I open.
She's with one eye open. She does.
Oh,
I love her.
Ethan, what about you?
Sock, shoe. That's the only way to do it. Yeah.
It's inevitable. I think I found 3 people. Michelle's the third person. Like we're a very small, unique group.
That's funny.
But apparently also possibly serial killers.
There's got to be some scientific thing behind it.
Probably is for serial killers. All right. But what this madness leads to, and this is what I'm excited to share with the community, and I hope the fandom appreciates it because I think it's a lot of fun. I took all of this information I collected and I compiled this really, really fun interactive Google map. Screenshot this, like lock it in. This is leg 1 of season 37 of the Amazing Race. I literally plotted out every single point on the map of everywhere we went. I threw in extra notes, additional stuff that they gave us in our additional notes about how the leg is run. Extra taxi routes. You can click the different layers. They pop up and show you how we bounced around the city. You can better understand just how hard this episode was by following our journeys with that map.
I love it.
Insane. It's insane. So, all right, real quick, sneak peek into next week. Not enough time to talk about it, but next week they're saying it's called the Very Strong Warrior Energy. And even in that little clip, that little teaser that CBS released, they say teams depart for Osaka, Japan.
Oh.
They encounter an intersection at the roadblock, forcing one partner to team up with a member of another team and complete a challenge performing the taiko drums.
Yeah.
You can tell that's clearly my white hair in that picture, but that is not Mary.
No.
They haven't done that. They haven't done that since season 30, I believe.
Yeah, right? It's been a while. Wow. And I love how they're like no holds barred. They are coming out strong with the fork in the road. And now with this, they're not like, oh, let's kind of like gently sprinkle these challenges in. It's like, let's get him hard and get like, let's do this.
In previous seasons, like something that comes way down the road.
Yes.
I think this means this season's just going to be just packed full of surprise.
Well, Phil has said
awesome.
every single episode is a different twist. So
wow.
With that, guys, thank you so much for being on our
Thanks for having us.
show.
This has been so much fun.
Hey, thank you, Laura. You guys are awesome.
Just
I'm so
keep
happy
giving back to the community. Like I love how much you guys are involved in the community. Tara is grateful.
Yeah. We're just trying to make a fun little show for everybody to watch and just entertain people and make some laughs while watching and talking about our favorite show in the whole wide world, The Amazing Race. There's nothing like it. And yeah, we love it.
Love you guys so much. Thank you.
Guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ethan, for coming on. Take care.
This has been great. Thank you again.
See you guys in the hub.